Magic exists to serve mankind and to never rule over him. Welcome to another DA Talk, where we'll be conversing on the second group affected by this poignant line, mages. Mages are the most discussed within all Thedas, with multiple nations interpreting how magic should rule and affect their lives. Whether controlled or encouraged through religion, history, or convenience, magic plays a huge part in the daily lives of Thedosians. Magic is a very unknown entity within Thedas. Many different spells, rituals, concoctions have been developed in research, whether it be igniting fire from nothing, manipulation and healing of the body, mind control with blood, or utilizing spirits and demons. Many variations of magic exist. Two natural sources of power mages use in order to strengthen their spells are Lyrium and blood. Lyrium is normally a blue mineral that emits magical power. In its raw form, it causes the most willed mage to either die from hemorrhaging or wither away from insanity. But its liquid form is the driving force for most mages enacting spells of their own. And because of it, Lyrium is an expensive entity and very much in high demand. Blood magic also fulfills the same purpose that Lyrium does, at a cheaper yet more grave cost. The more depraved an act, the more harm done to extract and utilize the blood, the stronger the spell or ritual becomes. But blood magic normally places the user in a position to use more blood, beyond their own and risking the lives of others. Blood magic and demonic possession normally act hand in hand due to the user's most possible lust for power. Blood magic has already a big stigma for inhumane use, ever since the Tevinter magisters of old, who used a ridiculous amount of blood in order to access the Fade, physically access the Fade, a physical feat that hasn't been performed by anyone else since the ancient times, but has been dubbed the cause of the blight in Thedas. But that is another story to be had. A large amount of Lyrium, or the blood of an individual, amount to just about the same. Much on magic has been extensively researched, but different regions, nations, and organizations utilize magic in their own ways. One of the most dominating forces is the Andrastian Chantry, whose principles illustrate that magic is a corrupting influence on the world, a quoted, terrible gift if not accounted for. It is the mission of the Chantry to govern over magical use in Thedas, and while they do not govern over all nations, their influence is one of the strongest. The Circle of Magi is the most prevalent, with many circle towers scattered across Thedas, including the central circle at the White Spire in Orlais. If a person is found to be a mage, the usual process of steps is the following. First, they submit to the Templars that bring them to the circle. They must provide their blood for a phylactery, a special process of blood magic that tracks the owner if they decide to escape or move beyond the circle. The mage must live and train at that circle, up until the point in age when the Templars and First Enchanter choose between forcing the mage to undergo a harrowing or tranquility. The former, named the harrowing, is a ritual where the mage must enter the Fade and avoid the temptations of demonic possession. If the mage survives, they become an accepted member of the circle. If they do not and are possessed, Templars will kill the abomination. On the other hand, if the mage proves to be a hazard to others or themselves, whether they are incapable of handling their own magic, or they seem to choose forbidden magics, they are made tranquil. Tranquility is a process that Templars use to sever the mage from the Fade, which makes the mage incapable of demonic possession, but also visibly emotionless, without any drive of their own. However, in Dragon Age Asunder, a mage named Pharamond found the cure to tranquility, the ability for a spirit in the Fade to reverse the process, something that will undoubtedly be featured in Inquisition. In the case a Circle of Magi proves to be a danger to itself or others, Templars are capable of enacting the rite of annulment, essentially the deaths of every mage within that circle. It's the most frightening yet very real act that the Templars have the quoted right to, as the entire circle is purged. Everything in the tower, including the people inside, are wiped out. The life of a mage in the Circle of Magi comes with great distress, isolation, and terror. While it's perceived as a place of learning, many see it as a cold method of control. A mage can live as a student or a prisoner. Other nations and organizations have very different views on magic and mages within Thedas. The Qunari believe in binding their mages in all forms. As noted in the world of Thedas, the Qun demands the Qunari mage to be bound. Its name is Sarabas, a dangerous thing. While Qunari believe in absolute rule and the absolute understanding of all things, They strongly believe magic can never be understood or controlled. With that, they leash their mages, sew their mouths shut. While severe, they only submit to the Qun. Starkly different, however, in Tevinter, it is a blessing to be a mage. Tevinter is a totalitarian magocracy, where mages are exalted and persistently placed at the top of government and nobility. The highest mage class is called the Altus. Families who can date their ancestors to the Dreamers are normally the most rich and of nobility. The Latans, families with mages who cannot source back to the original Dreamers but do have magical powers, do live properly within social climate. The Imperial Circle, similar to the Circle of Magi, exists within Tevinter as a place of learning for mages. Magic is extensively researched and the most dominant in all of Thedas, unrivaled by any other nation. The Imperial Circle is not a prison. It's a privilege. Other nations, just like Tevinter, have a more lax opinion of mages and magic. Nevarra is a Chantry-controlled nation. However, mages have presence in politics. Outside Tevinter, they are probably one of the most knowledgeable in magic. Rivaini hedge mages are revered mages within Rivain, who often clash with the Chantry over magical traditions. Reasoning for that is that hedge mages are known for communicating with spirits, even to the extent of accepting spirit possession. The Grey Wardens have the ability of conscription or legal recruitment of any person they choose, which sometimes does include mages. Mages are included in the Grey Wardens, but in the past they have been used to do forbidden magic in times of the Blight. The two most notable circumstances are Soldier's Peak and at the last stand of Sophia Dryden and the Grey Wardens, as well as Malcolm Hulk and the binding of the old Magister Corypheus at a Grey Warden prison in the Vimark Wastelands. After the destruction of Arlathan, the Dalish have dedicated themselves to preserving and unearthing the Elves' past history, including magic. The Keepers are the most knowledgeable in magic, and, in most cases, the Chantry and the Dalish keep as separated from each other as possible. While the Elves lost most of their artifacts when they lost their cities and culture, the Eluvians still exist across Thedas. The magical mirrors act as portals. In the past were used as methods of communication and travel between great distances. 2 Eluvians have been discovered, one with the Dalish clan and preserved by Merrill, companion of Hawk or known as the Champion of Kirkwall, and the other was an active portal used by Morgan, a companion of the hero of Ferelden. Between the Eluvians and the Cure for Tranquility, mages will be a heated issue within Inquisition. Due to the actions of the mage Anders, destroying the Kirkwall Chantry, and the events of the Sunder with the rebellion at the White Spire, mages of the Circle of Magi are fighting for freedom and a place in Thedas, just like many of the other mages who act freely within the nations like Tevinter and Nevarra. Dragon Age Inquisition will address the lifelong battle between Templar and Mage, struggling to fight not only for dominance, but for change. The question is always the same, though the topic very different. What will the mages do in Dragon Age Inquisition? What is their purpose? Thoughts you can put in the comment section below, or if you don't like YouTube or Google+, you can write to me through Tumblr at ladyinsanity.com/ask or on Facebook, links in the description. It's been a long time since the last DA talk. Recurring things I saw with the last DA talk on Templars is a split up between anger against the Templars for what they are, as well as a sort of sigh to the necessity of Templars. One of the more distinct comments I personally saw that I want to take the time to bring your attention is one from Jacques, sorry if I messed that up, who mentioned that Templars are hypocrites, based on the phylacteries being a form of blood magic, yet it's forced upon mages for the convenience of the greater good. This fact is very important to me whenever I talk about mages versus Templars, and the argument that I will often side with mages over Templars purely because of this kind of reason. The acts that the Templars and basically the Chantry impose in order to control mages stem from inhumane acts to rival said mages, using blood magic to make phylacteries that not only track a mage, but that can cast a spell on them remotely, taking in raw lyrium that causes Templars to form an addiction, one that forces the Templar into a lifelong binding contract because he can't ever kick the stuff, ever. Lyrium addiction forces a Templar to serve the Chantry for life, and you kinda have to hope for an early death, because once you've fulfilled your purpose and you can't fight anymore, you don't get the lyrium back. Unless if you have smugglers sifting for you, you're barely a person without your next hit. I don't think the Chantry should impose on mages I think at the very least, it should be seriously like a mix of mages and non-mages taking responsibility to teach the young of the dangers of magic. I've already mentioned how I always wanted the circle to actually work in the sense that it's up to 18. That's how I interpret it, that they teach it up until 18, and then afterwards they let you live your life the way that you want to live. I don't think Tevinter has it right either. The matter that you have these magisters that are controlling the government and doing all that stuff without any real control, but I do believe that things must be done for the sake of the greater good, quote, the greater good, are ultimately killing any good nature of preserving the life of mages. Change has to be done. Anyway, that's what I think. So let me know what you think in the comment section down below. As far as things go, I do want to take a minute to tell you all something that I'm in the midst of preparing, as 2014 is coming up very soon. Change is coming to this YouTube. Many fear change, and will fight it with every fiber of their being. But sometimes, change is what they need most. Sometimes, change is what set them free. Okay, I messed that up, and I really wanted to quote Morgan there. But essentially, what I'm doing now is I'm taking YouTube full time. Does this mean more Dragon Age? Does this mean more video games as a whole and possibly game reviews and fun live streams when new games come out like Inquisition and Witcher and Titanfall and Walking Dead whenever they come out? Why, yes. So, thank you to those who have subscribed. It's been a very interesting year. 2014 is coming, so for now, like and favorite this video if you enjoyed it. And if you didn't, please let me know how I can improve and what you'd like out of this channel. I want this channel to be relevant to your interests, so please share with me your thoughts. Take care everyone, I'll announce the next topic of DA Talk soon on Twitter, Facebook, and Tumblr. In any case, see you next time.